Okay, let me see. I think I am live. Wow, people showed up. I haven't been here for a while. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I've prepared a statement because my brain is all over the place. And the reason I'm doing this live is because I owe it to you to have a two-way conversation. Okay? So I will address the chat and talk to you after I'm done if you're still around. Some of you might be mad at me, but I gotta say what I gotta say. I'm about to destroy my channel. I don't want to. It's bad enough that I'll lose all that I've worked for here, but the worst part is losing you. And I'll explain why in a minute. I turn up the volume here. There. Most of my subscribers are American, and I have a message for you. Toward the end of the video, I'll have a message for my fellow Canadians and for our allies, as well as some additional information for Americans if any of you are still watching at that point. Dear Americans, we thought you were our friend, our best friend. We have been with you for over 100 years. When you have fires and hurricanes, we send people and equipment and money. And you mostly don't hear about it. We don't make a big thing about it. We just do it. When you were attacked, we were with you. We welcomed and sheltered you as citizens. We helped you fight back. We pay for a pipeline to send oil to you. In Ontario, my taxes help pay to send Michigan electricity. We work together across every sector you can think of. We see you like a sibling. We love you. Sure, we don't always agree, but we love each other. Or so I thought. I trusted America. I trusted that if America made a promise or signed a treaty, their word was good. But now I know different. More on that in a bit. Things are going to get pretty bad on both sides of the border. And when that happens, my American friends, I want you to remember something. We don't hate the American people. We will be blamed for much of what's going to happen, but most of it won't be true. We want you to be well. We don't want for you or for us what's coming. Trump's tariffs are only a tiny part of what's coming, and we're all going to suffer. This is what you voted for. But who you vote for and how you run your country is none of my business until the sovereignty of my country is threatened. Imagine for a moment that the president of China said he's going to make the USA a province of China. Imagine if he said it repeatedly. How would you respond? How do you think America would respond to that? Trump has made such remarks to and about Canada repeatedly. I'm not happy with your media right now trying to frame that as a joke. It's not funny. I am Canadian. I will always be Canadian. One of the reasons Trump supporters like him is that he does what he says. He says he's going to do something and he doesn't. Well, yes and no. Here's his pattern. He might follow through on his promises. He does follow through on his threats, or at least he tries. I go back to what I know, and that's threat assessment. One of the questions we ask is, has this person ever uttered a threat before? And if so, has he or she followed through on that threat? In Trump's case, the answer is yes and yes. I know people laugh about Trump's words about Canada being another state, about America taking over. But look at the bigger picture. For years, Putin has wanted to take territory in the Canadian Arctic. He even moved in to do it, tried to take it, and he was stopped. Our Air Force routinely has to do flyouts because of Russian incursion in the Arctic. You see, there are huge reserves of oil and natural gas up there, and Putin wants it. Canada studied the feasibility of extracting those resources and learned it would be devastating for that pristine environment and have a terrible impact on the people living up there. So we decided to leave it alone. Putin doesn't care about any of that, and neither does Trump. Why do you think he made the same remarks about Greenland? For similar reasons. They want the Arctic. This is about what Putin wants and how Trump and Putin and Elon and their friends are going to get more rich and more powerful. Recently, Trump told Canada, we're not going to protect you anymore. Never mind how we've had America's back. Never mind all the non-military benefits we freely give America. Never mind NATO. Trump's tariffs are in violation of CUSMA, a treaty Trump himself negotiated. But treaties, agreements, the law, none of it means anything to him. And now America has shown the world that America's word means nothing. There is no honor. The relationship between our countries has been forever changed. The impacts on our economies will be devastating, and for no good reason. Oh, the reasons that he's come up with aren't true. Anyway, he lied. And then he finally admitted that they weren't really his reasons, and there's nothing Canada can do to make him change his mind. We're hurt by it, and we're ticked off. We will respond in a measured way. Measured, stayed, because that's who we are. When it gets very bad, you will forget about us. There will be so much strife and chaos in your own country, you'll be focused on that. There will be so much fear and exhaustion and despair. It will be hard for you to even fight for yourselves. Never mind, think about us. For those of you who know this isn't right, for those of you who know this is not who you want to be, please don't give in to the despair. Fight for your civil rights and fight for the civil rights of others, even if they're not at all like you. Practice self-care too. To my fellow Canadians, whether your political leanings are right, center, left field, it doesn't matter. We're all Canadians. As far as I'm concerned, there are only two political options right now. Either you're with Canada or you're not. We can bicker about all that other stuff later. We are together. Alberta. Oh, I know that what these tariffs mean for your economy, for your existence. Remember, you are part of us. Your vulnerability right now can also be your power. We are with you. Alberta is a target. Whether you're in Alberta or another part of the country, take note of a pattern that has emerged in American-owned media. That is to try to magnify our divisions and our differences. You'll see more and more columns and memes like that. Don't fall for it. Quebec, the Maritimes, the North, the Prairies, BC, we're all different. And that's a beautiful thing. There are those who will seek to exploit those differences. Don't let them. We are Canadian. Not only will we meet the coming challenges, we will be even stronger. We're quiet, we're nice until we're attacked, and we're tough as hell. A lot of Canadians have boycotted American products and American companies, all of them. We're buying local, Canadian, and we're buying from our allies. Remember to support our allies as well. We won't let a penny of our money to go to help fund the American attack on our economy and on our people. If we all do it, it will make a difference. That brings me to why I'm willing to destroy my own channel. I can't bow down and pretend I don't notice what's being done to my country. I can't carry on as usual when everything has changed. I have been paying 30% of my income to the American government. I didn't mind. Taxes are supposed to go to helping people. But now, American taxes will not be doing that anymore. I cannot allow $1 of my money to go to fund the evil that is coming and what is being done to my country. If anyone sticks around on the channel, if you don't unsubscribe, I might pop in from time to time to say hi or give a Watson video, but none of it will be monetized. And I ask you, do not send me money through this platform. I don't do it for money anyway. To Canada's allies, thanks for being an ally. We're the same Canada, and we will always be Canadian, and we will continue to support you however we can. Now, some additional information for my American friends who have made it this far. American government websites are being taken down or altered so that you don't have crucial health information. Remember that other countries like Canada still have their websites up. You can go there and look, unless your country puts on a blocker, in which case get a VPN. You are going to be bombarded with propaganda and have facts withheld from you. Turn it off sometimes. Remember who you are and hang on to that. In the description, I've posted links to 2 videos. One is an excellent music video that is more like a movie by an amazing artist named Dimash Kudaibergen. And I think it is timely what the message is there. The other is a CBC piece explaining tariffs from a Canadian perspective, but it is factual and it may be helpful for those who don't understand the impacts of them. In closing, before I address the chat, I will say one more thing. I am Canadian. Thank you for listening. So, let me check out the chat. Eddie, I will miss you, Lori, and I will salute you for being brave. Maybe if not everybody leaves, I'll come back if the USA decides to make up with Canada, but I can't participate in it right now. Uh, oh boy. People are already fighting, of course. Tracy says, I turn it off all the time. Yeah, and it says most Americans didn't vote for the current regime, and it is a regime. We're already suffering. You're blaming us for the behavior of someone we didn't even choose. No, I need. You didn't hear me. I said we don't hate the American people, but I can't participate in helping them fund the tax money you pay is no longer going to help American citizens. You know that, right? So I'm not participating in that. And my country's very existence is being attacked. So, I also know, I recognize that a whole lot of people are going to be really ticked off with me and will leave, or who will spew hate at me, who will threaten me. And you know what? I don't give a rip. We're talking now about my country. Think about it. Think if the president of China said, I'm taking over America and we're going to just do things to you economically for no particular reason except my ego, how would you respond? Right? So, Nikki, sending love from the UK. We love you, UK. Canada loves you. Lady T, Australia is with Canada. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, says Lori. I back you 100%. Thank you. Yeah, somebody. Carolina says, love everyone around the world except for the evil, wicked people. Yeah. Yes. And she's saying, I apologize on behalf of the United States. Look, we know that it's not all Americans. We're not doing that. We're not saying all Americans are this way or that way. But America as a country right now, that is what they are, right? This regime is this way. So, I mean, we have to respond. So somebody's saying secure your border. Well, that's funny because a whole we just did a big, huge drug bust that made its way through Mexico all the way through America. And Trump himself pardoned a guy who is like one of the biggest drug dealers in the world, and he pardoned him. But okay. Buffy says this is only the beginning of his 4-year term. Many of us feel helpless. Yeah. Yep. I get that. I think you have to look for things you can do. And, sometimes survival and simply being healthy is an act of defiance. Just being mentally and physically well is an act of defiance. So keep loving your neighbors. All those things that Christians say they believe in, follow those things. I'm not talking about the fire and brimstone crap. I'm talking about the loving each other and helping each other. That stuff, and take care of yourself. And there are things you can do. In Canada, people feel helpless, but people have said, okay, well, we're not buying anything American. If if the government wants and big business wants to do this to us, we're not going to help them, right? So support the good people. There are things you can do. Yeah, LL Fool J, I'm not getting into it with you. I said what I said. You can go ahead and do your own research because Trump is lying to you about a lot. And I'm not going to bicker about that. And you know what? The haters are going to come on and hate, and so what? I've heard it all before. I don't care. Hi, Christine says, I'll miss you. And that's the worst part of this because I like talking to you guys. You guys are talking about Pop-Tarts. Which brand of Pop-Tarts you like? Carol, please don't confuse Americans with the current horrific regime. I did not vote for this travesty. Yes. And I think Canadians are trying to remember that. The more it hurts, though, because people are going to lose their homes. They're going to lose their pensions. I mean, this is absolutely devastating what he's doing. And there is no good reason. Like I said, he said, oh, because fentanyl. It was like 14 pounds. 14 pounds compared to everything else, right? And this nonsense about, so many are coming over the northern border. No, they're not. No, they're not. But it doesn't matter. The truth is, like, that's him. Alternative facts. And he says it enough and people start believing it and the media parrots it. So we do know, but it does hurt and there are very real consequences. And I know there's going to be very real consequences to you. And I think that was part of what I wanted to say is, look, we love you people, right? If you go from Canada to New York City I went to California. I mean, the people were great. I love them all. I have colleagues in America. I trained in America. I looked up to them. But their word is suddenly meaningless. It means nothing. They're just willing to violate treaties and agreements. Just because. Heather says, I appreciate you speaking up. Yeah, I expect a lot of people are going to be really ticked. Sally says, Canada is our brother. We love you. We love you too. And that's what makes this so hard. It's all unnecessary. But the relationship is forever changed. And, some of us talk up here and we're thinking, we know that not all Americans voted for this. We also know enough of them did. And I'm confident that Americans who did vote for him weren't thinking, yeah, we're going to give it to Canada. That's not what they were thinking. They were thinking we're going to get rid of all the immigrants, or we're going to, the stuff about the price of eggs. I didn't realize really how much you guys were paying for eggs. I was complaining about our prices until I saw yours, and I went, holy cow. Frauke, maybe you could create a Discord channel. Yeah, that's an idea. Is that an American platform though? I don't know. Does the American government make money from it? I'm on Blue Sky. I just started an account. I don't know what I'm doing there, but I don't talk about true crime. I talk about politics and stupid stuff. I talk about, I don't know, sharks and just run-of-the-mill stuff. So you might not be interested. Dynamite. My heart is broken. Yeah, me too. Chicken Ad says, our eggs, $12.95 for a dozen. That is crazy. But that's because of the bird flu, right? And you had to cull a whole bunch of your poultry. I have a firm set of cojones, Jane is saying. Thank y'all. Thank you. I mean, Jane, if America makes up with Canada, maybe I can come back. Who knows? Someone saying, I'm sorry for the moronic freak show, but this is America now. Yeah. Yep. And I think Americans too are hurting, right? And they're going to be hurting. And Trump today said something along the lines of, "Oh, this is temporary." Well, we're the biggest provider of oil. We're your like USA, Mexico, Canada. That's the biggest free trade bloc in the world. What is he replacing this with? You can't retrofit all the factories and suddenly replace your own overnight. Unless he's getting stuff from Putin. Or unless he's trying to placate you for long enough that you forget. I don't know. Okay, Canada is in on this? Give me a break. Sorry. Moon Goddess, I'm hurting. I'm sorry. I'm in Boston. Don't know what's coming, but I know I'm going to take care of myself good. I'm not going to stress about it, and I'm going to keep resisting. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely self-care. I mean, your job is to survive, right? Somebody says he does not think Putin owns him. Yeah. 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 He admires Putin, and oh, yeah, for years. Super Minty says he sold our hydro to them and we buy it back. I'm not sure who them is. Oh, BC sold our hydro to them and we buy it back. Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird, the whole energy thing back and forth over the border is a weird setup. Yeah, says we Americans need to get off our butts and form a coalition against this lawless regime. I think one of the things that's going to happen is that there's going to be a lot of chaos. There's going to be so much that's wrong. I mean, this business of gutting or cutting off the head of the FBI, right? It not only is it revenge, but it sends a message to everybody else. Be afraid. So they want them to not support the Constitution. They want them to be loyal to the regime, right? So, and this is not a surprise. And the EPA, I think they fired 110. Was it 110 or 1,000, 1,100? I can't remember. A bunch of people from the EPA and taking down health information and all the nominees, all the stuff that they're doing. It's meant to make everybody crazy because there's so much. So pick a cause, pick one and fight like hell for that. Fight for your civil rights, but fight for your neighbors too. Rise of Phoenix says, not all Americans are celebrating. There's nothing to celebrate. You're right. There is nothing to celebrate. You wait. You wait. I mean, it's a FAFO kind of thing. That's what's going to happen. And there are some people who are weary of hearing the whining about it after the fact when the person voted for that, right? I mean, there are some people who voted not because they believe in that, all the policies. It's like, I want them to hurt those people, go after those people, and they don't expect that, oh, they're going to come for me too. And the CDC, yes, and withdrawing from the World Health Organization, just, it's wild. I mean, and it affects us in Canada too. So you got a whole bunch of American anti-vaxxers and then misinformation. And you know what? There's going to be outbreaks of measles and all kinds of crap that you haven't seen in years. And they want to come over here. And a lot of us are saying, don't let them over. Don't let them over the border. Pretty soon we're going to be protecting our border from Americans, which is a sad statement. Somebody says, a lot of us here are scared and hurting too. Yeah, I know. I know. Please don't combine all Americans, condemn all Americans for what some support. Yes. Yes. I think, so no, I think I made that clear. We don't hate the American people. I recognize not everybody voted for him. In your comment, though, you say that some people co-signed blindly, and I'm sorry, I don't agree. I don't believe that. I don't buy that. If I would have believed that during his first term, but during his first term, you saw what he was like, and that was when he didn't know what he was doing. Now he understands how it works, and now it's moving a lot quicker, and it's a lot more effective, right? So Smiling Cynic, I think YouTube will survive without your channel. Yeah, it will. And my little contribution to American taxes means nothing. It's a joke, right? But it means something to me. It means something to me. And so if people won't miss me, then I guess it doesn't matter, right? Oh, so Patty's saying nothing's going to happen? Yeah. Yeah, well, things are happening. Ask the people who are being hurt. Things are happening. Okay, so I'm not going to bicker about who voted for him and why not. I'm saying our relationship is forever. He's violated trade agreements. America's word means nothing. And all this 51st state crap, I'm Canadian. Always be, no matter what. All right. I think, yeah. Now we're getting into like people want to bicker with me. I'm not interested. I took my stand, and that's it. Thank you for coming. I don't know when I'll see you again. I am Canadian.